we are reconnecting to the mind of God. The light of transformation is coming from the new frequencies sent from the suns of the 5th through 12th dimensions. Each stellar wave infusion that was brought to Earth from the 7 suns brought more of this transformational energy that is needed to activate the superhuman consciousness of the Christ. All of those frequencies needed to be combined into the highest frequencies through the music of the spheres. This is why the Elohim angels handed me the 3 crystal spheres of crystal light, crystal gel, and crystal dust. They told me to weave these sets of crystalline energy that all of the suns and stars are created from into one crystal sphere and hold it above my head 36 inches in order for the activation of the music of the spheres through the violet string on the harp strings. They had me begin by taking the sphere up 24 inches above my head into the universal or Christic sphere of the 12th dimensional consciousness and connect to the consciousness of the Elohim of hearing, which means the Christ consciousness. However, the Christ consciousness must be activated through the transformational consciousness of the cosmic consciousness, which is the original breath of the mind of God. That transformational frequency is 36 inches above the head. These locations of frequencies of consciousness is created through the Merkaba spheres that spin energy of consciousness at different rhythmic spin rates. The cosmic Merkaba placed around the body is represented through the bottom point of the triangle of the bottom Merkaba, placed within the etheric 13th dimensional core of Earth and up to the top point of the Merkaba triangle, facing upward, touching the 14.5 dimensional consciousness within the sphere of the divine love consciousness, which holds the cosmos within the mind of God. We use the candle to help you visualize that. The top of the candle, where it is violet, would be that 14.5 dimensional consciousness. Then it is interacting with the 15th, and then the 16th would be the point where the cosmos is held within the mind of God. So that is what we're talking about, moving back within the mind of God, getting in touch with that full spectrum of light, which is the spheres, the music of the spheres, spinning together to create higher and higher frequencies until we move our body into all of those frequencies. And that is most easily done by just seeing yourself standing inside of that candle after you understand how the light within the candle translates into the light within the cosmos. So when the body is placed within this cosmic Merkaba, the heart of the body becomes in tune with, or in the exact same rhythmic frequency as the heart of Mother Earth, the heart of the universe, and the heart of the cosmos. The term heart and heartbeat mean at the place where the upper triangle of the Merkaba and the lower triangle of the Merkaba intersect through a spinning of all that is in the consciousness, within spinning into the consciousness of all that is in the consciousness of the outer. When the body is returned to that spin rate of the cosmic sphere, the electrons disappear. That is the place we have to go to melt away our old DNA. We must go to the place where electrons disappear. They don't disappear until we move out into the cosmic sphere. Polarity disappears. There is no more positive and negative charge of electrons creating density. There is only pure consciousness. We must move into pure consciousness. We must move into the violet harp string to transform our DNA. The electrons redefine themselves. The skeleton that appears is a Christ. It reformulates its neural mass to fit the control of the mind of God. The brain has changed to become the facilitator of the superhuman. This happens by carving a pathway through the brain. The more we go into the candle, or the more you use a light, or you use the sun to transform your mind, you're actually carving this pathway by first moving into the blue light, the frequency-specific brain, and then carving a pathway into the violet brain, and then carving the pathway up into the neuronet of the higher self and into the mind of God. And then you've got a pathway carved where your consciousness begins from the mind of God, travels through your neuronets of your higher self, into your medulla oblongata, back into the violet part of the brain, into the blue part of the brain, and then blasts out that old thinking brain, removes all of those old thoughts in the thinking brain, and says the mind of God is now doing your thinking. So now all of these old cultural beliefs, all of this old world beliefs that have been planted in the thinking mind are now being transformed by the mind of God. And that's what creates this new skeletal structure of the entire body, of the entire DNA, of the entire cosmos. It changes everything. Our bodies will go into a deep sleep like hibernization. The change will be through chrysalis. As the celestine enters into our bodies from the waves of stardust and prana, it causes a light to flash and create a new reality in a flash, in an instant. Our brains must go into a deep level of sleep as we are pulled back into oneness with the original creation point of source, the idea, the thought, the intention, and the manifestation of the new idea. The body will always be held intact within the field of God's source. However, at the same time, we will disappear for nanoseconds at a time to realign into the new idea. Now, a nanosecond is so fast that you don't know it happened. We're having nanoseconds. We're changing versions of reality every nanosecond all the time. We're always moving into a new version of ourselves. So this transition is taking place nanosecond after nanosecond after nanosecond. So we don't realize that there is no time and space. So what we seem to be seeing as many, many nanoseconds turning into maybe days and months and years is all taking place instantly in the mind of God, because there is no time and space there. So we must move into this at one-ment with the mind of God to find that nanosecond where this transformation does take place instantly, and that can happen. We can move into instant manifestation, instant transformation. We can change our bodies into a body that is 40 years younger in an instant when we get this process down. But while we are still practicing this process and we are placing our nanoseconds into time instead of into no time, that is why it is taking time for this process to take place. It may take us 10 years to make our bodies look 40 years younger. So the good thing is that we will not be getting older from now on. We will always be getting younger. The more we practice this process, we will be getting younger and younger every day. And the more we remove this idea of time, the faster it will happen. So God creates each idea within a sphere of hydroplasm. There is a cloud of hydrolays. First, hydrolays is spiritual water. Spiritual water, our water is H2O. Spiritual water is H2O2He3. It has helium and more oxygen. So this hydrolase, which is first frozen and then warmed into various chemical structures of light and sound. The blueprint of the idea is simultaneously created at all levels of manifestation, from Hertzian to infrared to visible, invisible, X-ray, gamma waves. This means the invisible etheric reality of the thought of God is manifest at the same instant that the new body flashes on in the dimension that will be in our new perception. During this very rapid transition, the body goes into lucid dreaming, psychedelic sleep. When we awaken, we first notice something different about our bodies. The way we feel and look, our hopes and desires will have completely changed. We will know we are Christ. We will know we have become the mind of God manifest. We will open our eyes onto a new reality because our perception will have been completely translated.